Public speaking, speaking spontaneously are some of the things that everyone wants to know, and these are the skills that everyone wants to learn. And what better than doing it with an expert? Our today's guest, Roopa Gururaj, has nearly 2 decades of experience as a national TV presenter, MC, RJ, and much more, which we'll learn from her. So let's get this conversation going. Welcome, Roopa, to this episode of Masterclass. It's such a pleasure to have you here, and I'm sure our viewers will have a lot of takeaways from this conversation.
Thank you so much. It's a privilege to share the little knowledge I have on the subject, and thank you for inviting me here. It's a lovely place with a lot of warmth. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we move on to the questions, actually, I'd like to know a bit more about you because I know that my introduction has not done any justice to the experience that you have. So maybe if you can share a bit more about yourself, which our viewers would definitely like to know.
Well, I just to sum it up, I've been in media from past 18 plus years, and started off as a news presenter in Doordarshan, Chandana, and later moved on to FM Rainbow 101.3, that is Kannada Kamanabillu, as a Kannada RJ, and joined Nammradio, which is a digital radio, app-based radio, which reaches out to 196 countries. I worked there as an RJ for almost 5 years, and then moved on to Karnataka's one very leading newspaper, Vishwavani. I joined there as a columnist, and I write a daily column called Vandolle Matu, which is one good thought for the day. And I finished almost 4 years journey there with 1,500 columns, released 3 books of Vandolle Matu. Along with that, poetry is my passion, and released 2 books of poetry. Since voice is my treasure, so emceeing for live music shows and dance and literary programs and a lot more other things in and around Bangalore, nationally and internationally. I have covered around 800 plus shows. And as a voiceover artist, I've been giving voice for various advertisements and government ads and audiobooks. That's the recent thing which I've added on to my profile.
Awesome. I think it's really extensive, and it's all in similar kind of things. True, it's all in the media. Were you always comfortable doing this in terms of talking in front of a large audience or talking in front of the camera, or was that something that you developed as a skill?
To be honest, I never even imagined I would end up in media. I am an extrovert from child. So talking in front of the mirror talking is what we all do. That teacher games and mirror talking. And I've done a lot of that. While I used to watch national television or the news part of it, I would always imagine myself sitting there and reading the news. Somehow every child dreams themselves into that part, I believe. And I thank my dad for, cultivating that habit of reading newspapers loudly and that diction and other basic things. I believe every household, they try to teach us the mother tongue in the best way. So we speak it in the right way, and it comes off very naturally to us, That way, I started off my career as a counselor in animation Arena Multimedia. Worked there for 3 years into totally sales and other things. Later took a sabbatical when my son was born, and I could not get back to a 9 to 6 job. And that is where I started wondering, what next? Where do I figure out myself? I believe a lot of you can connect to this portion, where, once we start a family, we always, women especially, cannot fit into this regular 9 to 6 jobs or any other job which is more demanding. And it's not that we don't fit into the job market anymore. Our skill sets do not match the industry standards, wherein I had to rediscover myself, and I started thinking, what am I good at? That's where I figured out I'm good at language. Now, if you're good at language, you're supposed to start as a teacher in some school or something else. Teacher again is a very demanding job. and a 9 to 6 job, full-time job.
Full-time, correct.
So that's where I saw an ad in newspaper wherein it was inviting for auditions for Doordarshan news presenters, which was a contract-based job, wherein they would give you 7 bookings in a month.
Oh, okay.
So all I thought was it's 7 days in a month,
convenient.
A half day.
Yeah.
So it's very convenient having a child of 4 years, If it clicks, if you are there, if you're selected, all you had to do was speak good Kannada, which wasn't born.
Yeah.
And speaking in front of camera was the next challenge.
Yeah.
For that, you needed a little self-confidence. You needed to accept yourself, feel a little confident that I'm okay as I am.
Correct.
Because especially young mothers, they will have a lot of doubts, self-doubts about their body, about their personality, about their maternity phase.
Yeah.
They will have a lot of self-doubts, and that is where I feel today's girls are much more better because they get back to fitness, they get back to their work routine ASAP.
Correct.
Then we took a little more time.
Yeah.
Then I started off. I went and gave auditions for Doordarshan and got selected in the first screening.
Oh, okay.
That gave me a lot of hopes. I thought, yes, I fit somewhere.
Yeah.
And not bad. My language skills can still create a job for me.
Yeah.
And that was a big ego booster.
Yeah, I think that's really nice. Roopa, since this is a masterclass, we would like to know, I'm sure our viewers would like to know about some tips, maybe around 5, that will help them if they want to get into this field of anchoring or emceeing.
Yeah, I have noticed a lot of youngsters, or even people in their mid-30s who would want to do this anchoring job because they love talking. They love meeting people, they love public speaking, but they lack a little confidence and they feel, where should I start? Now, who will give me a work like that? I know how to do it, but who will give me the first break?
Correct. Yeah.
For that, take up small assignments like a birthday party at family or some kitty party in family. Please volunteer to host. Nobody will call you and give your first job. Many times you will have to do it free of cost. This is India. We need to understand this. You will have to give them the samples. Yes, I can do this, Host some parties or host some birthdays, or it's however small or big they are. These are like internships. You will understand how to manage a smaller crowd, known crowd, and that confidence will take you to different platforms. Second, if you're looking for serious platforms or government functions and anchoring for music shows and things like that, keep a tab on your language. Try to develop language skills wherein you give 15 minutes to reading every day, either reading a newspaper or any book, and make it a habit. Even 15 minutes of reading every day will help you read 6 books in a year. So that will definitely help. And keeping yourself updated with current affairs. Current affairs are very, very important for us to even cut a very casual line in between our anchoring. See, anchor is just not a person who will replicate what is given in a sheet of paper. Many times they give you the script. Many times we will have to prepare our script. To prepare our script, we need to use our own words. We need to form sentences, and those sentences need not be formal always. We will have to put on our own ideas. For that, your knowledge of current affairs also helps. And no shortcut for homework. Proper script should be ready. Every time there is an event, probably they will give you an invite for the event wherein they will just mention these are the dignitaries coming, and we will have the morning breakfast and then the stage function, and later there is a recreation program. This is how a normal invite looks. For you to understand what an anchor does, you will have to understand those dignitaries, designations, and a little introduction about them. And there is something called a program flow. You will have to sit with the organizer and prepare a program flow wherein you write the minutes of that program. 7:1 invocation, 7:5 lighting of the lamp, 7:10 welcome speech by so and so and their designation and their introduction in 3 to 4 lines if it is necessary, and 7:15 book release, whatever the function is, and 7:20 person who released the book, introduce them in few lines and then invite them to talk. 7:25 there's a second person talking, but before the second person talks, you're wrapping up or summarizing what the first guest talked. No, we are not repeating whatever they tell, but whatever they spoke, you're summarizing it in one line wherein the audience understand this anchor is smart enough to convey the meaning of the whole talk in 2 lines. That is what an anchor does. For that, our knowledge of language and a very careful listening and staying alert on the stage matters. While if there is somebody speaking beyond their given time, 10 minutes is their speaking time, and they're almost past 20 minutes, the anchor should know how to slowly stop them, or how to take because the whole stage is under our control. We will have to take it back. Either you pass a chit on to them telling, please wrap it in the next few minutes, and the dignitary is very, very big and you cannot afford to talk that. Then you will have to think of ways how to, get back that stage into control. Because a 3-hour program can go for 3.5 hours maximum, or probably 4, cannot go beyond 4. And the whole control is in anchor's hands. So all this matters, and beyond all, our presentation and our presence on stage. Be adequately dressed. Try to understand what is the kind of event you're going. A birthday party, a casual dress will go, but still we will have to look dignified enough. A government function, male or female, should be formally dressed. There is no compromise on that. However formally we are dressed, our costumes should not be too loud, wherein it takes off all attention from what we are talking. And we should know what is a backdrop like. If the backdrop is red, I can't wear a red sari for the same function. I will have to see the poster and try to understand what should my costume color be. It can be either white or yellow or anything which is contrast to the backstage. Many times these small things actually helps an anchor, look more presentable on stage until the last minute, until there is vote of thanks, and even then after that, wishing everybody a good night. Till then, an anchor is never out of job. So please do understand, you're the first person to enter that function. Take notes from the organizers. There are a lot of last minute changes happening. You should be alert, understand. If there is shift of those program flows, make proper arrangements for that. If anything is left off, you should run and pitch in for that. You are all in one that day, and be the last person to wish thank you to everyone who walk out. So 3 months of planning or 6 months of planning, 2-3 hours of execution, that 3 hours is in anchor's hands. So we should understand the responsibility in our hand is that big. Once you understand the magnitude of this, we'll always be alert.
No, I think that's really, when as audience or something, I don't think we understand the depth of all that you mentioned. And one takeaway for me from whatever you've mentioned is that preparation is the key.
Very much. I have somewhere around 20-25 files of all my written scripts right from 2005. I used to write before. Now I have it in WordPad. I type of everything. So now it's all in digital format. But my handwritten scripts are still my biggest treasure. And one small thing, a small tip after all these things to any aspiring anchors: please know to value yourself, to charge yourself. Initially, what you do is free job, but later after that, you should know how to evaluate your time. Somebody may tell you, it's for some kind of donation or some kind of. There are many people who come and tell this is a fundraiser, but you should understand that you are leaving your family and going there for a job. So a fundraiser can happen from their sponsors. They need not have to do it from an anchor's money. So you will have to understand to evaluate yourself, your time. So if you're going there for 4 hours, you need to understand how much to charge them. They can't tell you, I'm calling you for only 1 hour. Please charge me for 1 hour, because you can't take up any other assignment that day. Travel time or going through a car, petrol, etc., etc. Unless we know how to evaluate ourselves, they will not learn to pay a price to us. So anything, please, there are no free lunches. Learn to evaluate.
Super. One more thing that I have in my mind, Roopa, is you said you started off as a Doordarshan news presenter, but I know that you have added a lot of things to your experience. So was it that you just picked up those things, or did you have to upgrade yourself at some point of time?
Upgrading is, I would call it evolving. Every day you want to grow. While I joined as a news presenter, day one, that was the most toughest task for me on earth. they would give me 30 sheets to read, and I was supposed to read it in front of the main editor and in front of the director and things like that, present it to them. But that is where I understood my basic Kannada diction was wrong. Even though I was a born Kannadika, there were some words in Kannada which I never pronounced properly.
Okay.
Lack of knowledge. They literally corrected my diction from there, and my understanding of language started improving. But over a period of time, I started feeling, should I only read the news which other people are writing for me? So this is replicating others' ideas.
Correct, yeah.
So what is my personal contribution to this? Of course, the body language, presence of mind, and a lot more other things. But any job becomes mundane after a point of time, right?
Yes, yeah.
So what is my contribution? I have a lot more thoughts, my own personal thoughts with language. And I would listen to these private radio stations wherein the RJs would talk endlessly. And I would always feel there's not even 5 to 10% of contribution, value addition to those talks. If I thought there's no value addition, so I should be the value addition. So what is the platform? I would go in front of Raj Bhavan every day to reach Doordarshan. And Raj Bhavan, opposite to Raj Bhavan is All India Radio. And I would every time pass that place and feel I'm going to sit there one day and talk sense.
Wow.
Every time I would pass that road, my idea was someday I'm sitting inside. I'm sitting there and talking sense. Well, I went for an audition and I got screened there. To be honest, I was the first one to reach for the audition by morning 10:30. I think I walked out for a loo break or something, and they missed calling me. I was called inside by 4 o'clock in the evening. While that was another technique where they checked how desperate I am about that work. They called me inside, they took my voice audition and all that, and they asked, we noticed you came in the morning 10:30 and it's 4 o'clock now. You should have either come and informed us that you walked in early. And you're still smiling. I told, even if you had called me tomorrow morning, I would sit here because I want to sit in that hot seat, talk. This is what I wanted. And they smiled and they told, we'll get back to you. So that is a kind of craze. That is the kind of passion you need to have if you need to, be in any place. Many times we all dream big. We all have big dreams or passions. But to pursue that needs a lot of persistence. And it's not one day job. Persistence over days, months, years, it should not get diluted. Only then that positive manifestation will get things done to you. All through your life, having one day's super energy for 1,000 watts is not enough. Every day, from morning how you wake up to night how you sleep matters. Because it matters to me personally, it matters to my children who are watching me and by people who are watching me. It also influences my workplace.
Correct.
So we should be mindful about all these things. This helped me a lot. This discipline helped me a lot.
But it's not just that, you've also spoken in international platforms, especially the Kannada.
Akka Sammelana. This all comes through jobs, Neha. Once I was in All India Radio, I got my first anchoring work from there or reference from there for KSIC Mysore Silks vintage saree exhibition, for which Sudha Murthy ma'am was the chief guest, and it was a great experience for me, even to go stand in front of her and listen to her. And another dream started. Why can't I be an MC for shows? That is another level of preparing. Radio shows, preparing for the radio shows was a different format, while being an MC, handling the stage right from the start to the end and understanding that whole project is different. So from there, my preparation started getting more for this live shows. And KSIC first show was a platform where I understood how this work is. And then eventually I started getting other bookings or other projects. That's where I ended up with Qatar Kannada Rajotsava, which was my first out of India booking. And they listened to my talks in Nammradio, which was an international radio. There they got connected to me and they told, we are doing Rajotsava celebration in Qatar, and why don't you come and host our show? We never know. Many times we feel, the place we are working might be small or big, but many times the connects it establishes for us when we are doing what we do with a lot of passion. you never know where you have a twist and turn.
Yeah.
So that is where be presentable every day. Give your 100% every day. You don't know who is looking up at you.
Correct.
This happens with me many times. Once on radio also, I got a long email from a listener from Ireland, and she told it's snowing very badly here from almost 2 months, and I have lost my job, and I almost was thinking to end my life. I didn't know what to do with myself, and that was that. My show was called Sleeping Pills, and I was talking about how to be presentable every day and how to take life every day. And she happened to listen to 2 links, and she ended up listening all the 8 links. And she told, I got so inspired by your thoughts. I just went, picked up my best dress, wore it in front of the mirror, got ready, took my car out and went to Costco, shopped, and I came back, applied to a few companies, and after 2 weeks, I'm in my work.
Wow.
And I'm putting this mail from my workplace.
Super.
So it's thousands of miles away, and all you're having is a radio platform. I don't even know who's listening to it. So in the same way, these events also ended up, wherein somebody somewhere noticed my videos or noticed my talk, and social media platforms, many of them feels Facebook is a nonsense or Insta is a nonsense, whereas it is a wonderful platform to showcase your professional work and update about the events we have done with a good article along with that. Many people just keep watching. Interested people will not keep commenting on your posts.
They'll just
I feel there are 80% of them just watching what we are doing. And trust me, till date, I don't have my visiting card from 18 years. And all the events, almost 800 plus, which I have got are through word of mouth and through social media postings. They understand you do this kind of work also. And posting a small video clipping, photos, or introducing the people who were there on the stage while you were emceeing, and you have handled dignitaries like them, itself speaks volumes for people. They understand, okay, if she's handled that stage, she will be the right person for our stage also. And while on stage, your physical presence, your language plays a big role, and your understanding of the magnitude of responsibility you're handling there also. All these are takeaways, or you need to really watch out on all these things while you're taking up different level of jobs one by one. Of course, every event is different. Every event is new for me, or for any other MC for that matter. They will always have butterflies backstage, and you walk to the mic, and first hello is always a little jittery. And after that, first hello and watching all the people and telling namaskara. This is how I start talking. Namaskara, nanu nimma Roopa Gururaj, Shubha Sanjay, hegiddiri, and all these Kannada words. While I see the smile on their face, I understand, yes. Yes, the namaskara came back.
I think especially on stage shows, the connection with the audience is very important.
It is. Eye contact with them. And while you're talking, try to be very alert and understand what's happening in the audience. We cater to the people on the stage, no doubt about it. But along with that, along with trying to summarize what the speakers are telling and understanding who's talking next, all those are regular jobs which an MC do. Understanding the mindset of crowd and trying to interact with them makes them feel acknowledged. And there are many people, just because they like the MC, they would have stayed till the end of the show. This happens in music shows while we are talking, while I'm connecting some music, from some kind of Bollywood numbers. I would try to tell them, okay, it's already 8:30. I know you're already thinking that, what's there for dinner? Should we pull out something from the fridge, reheat that and eat, or we'll eat something in the CTR and go back? And I see that wife smiling already. I know, I caught your attention. Ma'am, CTR, definitely. You'll go to CTR and I'm joining you. They will definitely stay back till the end of the show and come back and tell me we loved your talk, because they feel acknowledged. That warmth is passed on.
So Roopa, in your 2 decades of this experience, you would have done a lot of events, right? So any memorable events which would have tested you as an anchor, and any challenges that you faced, and mainly, how were you able to overcome them? Because I think there's a lot to learn from these experiences which our viewers will also benefit.
Every event is memorable because for the kind of preparation we have gone through. Every time I finish a very big event, that night I cannot sleep because of the adrenaline rush we have.
Okay.
A whole night you're again rehearsing the same thing and the same thing.
Before or after?
After.
Okay.
After finishing the event, you feel, let me finish this event, I'll go sleep for 12 hours straight.
Yeah.
That is the day you can't sleep. Because so much of energy rush in you,
yeah, that's
you're not able to sleep. And well, I remember this event in North California. This is for KKNC Kannada Sangha there. While I had been there for Akka event in 2018, I got another offer from North California for an event, Rajotsava celebration with our very noted actor from Kannada film industry, my personal favorite, Anant Nag, the Anant Nag couple. And they told, let us have it in this weekend with Ramesh format, wherein you sit down and talk to them for 1.5 hours. Knowing one more thing is, Anant Nag ji is a very moody person. He is extremely smart and extremely intelligent, but it all depends on his mood, where you strike the right chord with him. To my luck, I have never met him before. And I was in Akka event before, and so I didn't have time to discuss with him. Only after I landed in North California, Tri-Valley City, 3 hours before the event, I got an opportunity to talk to him. I have framed a lot of questions through all these books or Google or whatever. But Madam Gayatri ji, his wife, tells me there are certain things you cannot ask. Maybe about some of his co-stars, which they were like the most hit pair, Anant Nag ji and Lakshmi ji. They're a hit pair. In all you have to talk to Anant Nag is what you want to ask about Lakshmi ji. But we get an instruction we cannot ask. And what are you supposed to talk on stage? I was like, okay, ma'am, I won't ask. Please, he does not want to answer those questions. Okay, ma'am. And you're not supposed to ask these questions. Okay, ma'am. And you don't even get to see him before. I stand on the backstage and he enters the room and he's like, hello. I almost fainted.
First time, right?
I didn't know. I was always dreaming about this man and he's been my idol always. And he comes and stands in front of me. I forgot all questions. My whole homework gone to toss. He's in black and I'm like, why am I here? And I gathered up myself and went on stage, wherein the whole crowd is cheering and whistling and shouting. I introduced him and he was supposed to walk in. And I knew the set of questions I'm not supposed to ask him, but I'm supposed to keep the conversations on. Wherein the crowd is cheering, please ask about Lakshmi, please ask about this. They want to hear more about it because these are the pairs we have always fantasized. But as an anchor, I knew my responsibility and I had to keep the conversation on. We had a 2 hours discussion live. I can never forget that. And another is for Isha Ashram, Coimbatore, where Sadhguruji always, celebrates Mahashivratri in a very elaborate way. It is an international crowd there. And I was the convener for Chandana TV, where I used to translate whatever he spoke in Kannada. But the challenge was that selection process. I had almost taken 6 months translating all the YouTube videos of 3 minutes into Kannada and making it a voiceover in 3 minutes exact and sending it to them, their panel, and they selected me. The challenge for the live show was he would talk in any language, English or any language, and stop. You would get a 30-second time and you were supposed to start talking that. You are supposed to just write the keywords in Kannada. If I am translating it in Kannada, I'm just supposed to write the keywords in Kannada and start the transmission time from he stops to the local language is 30 seconds gap. And you will have to start talking and you should not talk nonsense. You should talk sense of the same things he has spoken with the same keywords and the same sentences, a little here and there. That's it. So imagine the kind of alertness we were supposed to sit in, and you don't even have a dictionary. Even if you have a dictionary, you need more time to open that and you search whatever keywords he's using. So by then I had listened to enough of his videos and got prepared with his regular wordings which he uses for any kind of conversation. So I had 100 words which he regularly uses written down. So whatever was his speech, I knew how to formulate that in Kannada and probably talk about it. So from today evening 6 o'clock to next day morning, early morning 6 o'clock, in a gap of 1 hour, we have almost 25 speeches transmitted in our local language. And my people who are watching back home, they all came up telling, how did you do this? Was there any prompter in front of you doing all that? No, I had to write down and then do it. So this experience I can never forget in my life. So an anchor means staying alert, staying humble, and keeping updated.
I think, it doesn't seem, when you see your anchor talking and all, it doesn't seem like so much of work, but it is so much of hard work behind
any
the
field,
scenes.
Any field for that sense, it looks easy. The anchor makes it look easy. That's what I believe. If you feel a program went on very well, please, end of the show, please go and convey your message to the anchor. Tell them it went on very well. You conducted it very well. That is a minimum acknowledgement you're giving to the MC of that show, because the whole final, implementation of all the hard work finally goes into the anchor's hands.
Super. I think this has been amazing, Roopa. I mean, from the first sentence that we spoke to what we've spoken until now, I think there are a lot of things that people can take away. Like you said, it's not just for anchors. Any person who want to get into any field, I think there are a lot of things that they need to look into: preparation, hard work, and like you said, working in a specific environment and looking forward to other things where you get to connect themselves, come and speak to you and pick you up if you've done it with so much of passion. I think so many things to learn from you and your experience. So thank you so much. I think this has been wonderful. I have a lot of takeaways and I'm sure our viewers too would agree with me. I think this is something that, especially, I mean, I'm not saying that only anchors or, only people who want to get into the media field should know. I think, like Roopa mentioned, everyone will have some takeaway from this conversation. Thanks a lot for your time and sharing so much knowledge.
Thank you, Sneha. It's been a privilege sitting here and sharing my talks. It's been like dotting back my memories and looking back at my journey. It was wonderful for me also. One thing, lastly, I want to wrap it up with this line. I always believe good manners never gets outdated. So please keep your attitude straight in whichever job you are. And many times, discipline takes us to places where motivation cannot. So stay disciplined, stay happy, love yourself.
Thank you. One last thing, Roopa, I think we'll leave a link to your Instagram profile so people can watch more of your videos, learn from it, and maybe if they have something, they can get in touch with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.